So I'd like to welcome Dr. Richard Pritchard. So, Dick, you were introduced to network marketing 45 years ago. And
correct.
To me, that blows my mind, obviously, because I was -6 at the time. But over the years, reading through your bio, and obviously we've gotten to know each other a little bit, you kind of dabbled with it. You had a real career, I guess. Why don't you just start off there for me to tell me a little bit about your initial introduction? We'll skip through a bit of that and in your career and kind of what you did over the first good number of years, and then we'll get into kind of 2010 when the pressure got on, to be able to start generating an income from that.
Okay, well, way back in, when was it, 1974, I think it was. I got introduced to network marketing by my brother. It was some soap company. I don't remember the name of it. Maybe you do. But in that company and with that marketing system, you had to hold meetings. You had to call people. And like you, Joel, I found out pretty quick that people didn't want to hear about it. They were alert for these phone calls and these secret invites to meetings that you wouldn't tell them anything about, and after a while I just got discouraged with that and I quit. Okay, but the cool thing is, and I just recently thanked my brother for this, is he awakened the dream in me of what could happen with network marketing. And so time went on. I had a long career in the military and in defense technology companies. I learned how to write proposals to the government and all that kind of stuff. Good training for eventually learning to write persuasive copy. And I made more and more money. I was working myself to death. But in 2010, just short of my 65th birthday, I got laid off. I was making $200,000 a year, and I got laid off. My income went from $200,000 a year to zero. That was a wake-up call, folks. It's a wake-up call that sooner or later everybody gets, because what people don't always understand is that every job comes to an end at some point. You get to be too old, you get to be too expensive, your company goes south, all kinds of things can happen, but sooner or later, your job is going to go away. And when it does, what are your options? Okay, Social Security, yeah, I get that. Glad I don't have to live on it. I know a lot of people who are trying. What's in your 401k or whatever retirement plan you have, a lot less than you were making. And so, what are your other options? Welcome to Walmart. That's an option some people take, but I didn't want to do any of those things. Okay, I didn't want to try to live on my military retirement, my Social Security, and my wife's income. So I said, I know about this thing, network marketing, but I hate meetings. I don't like making phone calls, cold calls anyway. And so I began to experiment with bringing people in using postcards. Okay, a novel idea. Not too many people were doing it. No, more and more people are doing it now, by the way. And so I experimented with a number of things, but basically I used what's called a two-step system. And the two-step system basically gets people to return the card, sometimes with a couple of dollars or some stamps or something like that, to get more information about your opportunity, but it also puts them on your list. And as anybody should know, building a list is one of the most important things you can do if you want to promote any business, and especially a network marketing business. And so things took off about 2011 or so, and I had this great success in one company, got up to $5,000 a month. I was rocking and rolling, but something happened. The company made a serious error, and they went bankrupt, and my income dropped again. And so I made a couple decisions. One is I would never put all my eggs in one basket ever again. I would promote more than one, not a dozen, but more than one company. So I started promoting a second company and then a third one. And those two companies I'm still involved in. I still run postcard systems for them. I actually, over the last 6 years, have enrolled more than 12,000 people in those three companies, the one that went bankrupt and the other two, using my postcard systems. However, there were a few problems. Running your own system, I'm sure Joel knows this, is a lot of work. And if you don't set it up right, you can actually lose money on the system. And I did lose money for years until I figured out, hey, I've got to make the system pay for itself. I ran into a lot of people, especially older people, which is one of the target markets you usually hit when you use mail, who weren't interested in nutritional products or any products for that matter. They said, I just want to mail postcards. Can I just mail postcards? But I didn't have a way for them to do that. I'm sure that a lot of people who got my postcards looked and said, but I'm already in company X. I don't want to be in this guy's company, even though he might have a great system. And so maybe they didn't even respond to our postcards, and they were the people I most wanted to attract, network marketers. And then, of course, like any postcard system, we had dropouts, and people got frustrated because it usually takes months, if not years, to really make money from a mailing system of any kind. And so last September, my good friend Roy Babineau, who's been on this call before, called me up and said, hey, I want you to go take a look at this thing called Postcard Networker. And I was a little skeptical at first, like anybody. But I went and looked, and I said, okay, well, it's free for me to sign up, so I'll go see what it's all about. And then Roy got me on the phone with Joel, and we talked. And I was impressed with Joel and his track record and his knowledge. After talking to him for a while, it's pretty clear that he knew what he was doing. And so I have to tell you a funny story. One guy who responded to one of my postcards and joined my program called me up, and he said, I have one question. And I said, what's that? His name was Barton. And Barton said, what happens if you die? So I wasn't sure how to respond to Barton. But I said, well, Barton, hopefully I'm not going to die, but if I do, I won't have to worry about it. But, that's a concern that people have, and I'm now, by the way, 71 years old. I've had a couple of health challenges in the last year, and so I began to think about that too. What happens to my folks, not just to me, but what happens to my tribe if something happens to me? Okay, and so I began to think more and more about a way to transition my business or businesses into Postcard Networker. And here's what's happened since then. I have about 200 people in my total downline and Postcard Networker. I've used the OMA program. I'm sure that's brought a few people in, but mostly I just mail postcards. Every week, I was mailing 100 a week. Now I've got so many free postcards, I'm mailing 400 a week just to try to catch up. But every time I mail more postcards, I get more members and I get more free postcards, so it's crazy. But here are the other things that's happening. I have several people in one of my companies who are using Postcard Networker instead of my postcard system to build their business. Okay, and I don't care, they can do it either way. I have another young lady who is in my company, but not in my downline, and people in my downline can't use my postcard system, but she's using Postcard Networker to build her business in my company. I have another guy who is the CEO of his own network marketing company, okay? And he's excited about building his company using Postcard Networker. I'm not in his company. He's not going to join my company. But we're helping each other out, which I think is what network marketing is all about, people helping other people. And so I've almost got another CEO talked into it, but I haven't quite turned him around yet. But the point is, you know, most of you, many of you are in a network marketing company of some kind. Have you approached your upline, your sideline, or your downline, or even the CEO of your company? Imagine what that would do for your Postcard Networker business and what it would do for the company that you are trying to build. You're really doing that company a favor, because I can tell you most network marketing companies are trying to do what everybody else is trying to do. They're trying to build it on the internet. They're saying just send people to this magic website and money will start flowing your way. Well, that's really not the way it works. It's not the way network marketing works. Network marketing is a more hands-on people business, and there's a big difference between getting something in the mail, right, and clicking on a website that you forget about 10 minutes later. Big difference. And so that's why I believe, even though I love the internet, I have an autoresponder. I put all my new members on my autoresponder list. I still love mail, because mail is more of a, what would I call it, a touchy-feely kind of thing. People ignore emails. The open rate on emails is about 10% now or less. People ignore phone calls. But guess what? Everybody opens their mail. They might throw it away, but they look at it before they throw it away. So I love mail. I love a system that anybody can use, because most people won't learn how to market on the internet. Most people won't make cold calls. Most people won't invite people to meetings or hold meetings or any of that stuff. Guess what? Anybody, your grandmother, anybody can mail a postcard, right? So I even wrote an article that appeared in this month's Home Business Advertiser called "Every System Should Be for Beginners." And that's exactly what Postcard Networker is. It's a great system for beginners. You can start out small. You know, you can just mail 20 cards a week or something like that, whatever you can afford. Then you'll start getting free postcards. You can mail those, cost you less money because all you have to pay for is the stamps. And you can just move up the ladder at your own pace. And that's what it's all about. The other thing, passion that I have, is for older people. Since I am an older people, okay? But I can tell you that about 10,000 baby boomers are retiring every single day. And most of them are totally unprepared financially for their future. And so I get letters from people all the time saying, I'm living on $800 a month in Social Security or Social Security disability or whatever, and I don't know what to do. I have no money and all this stuff. And sometimes, I mean, they're so broke I can't even do anything to help them. And I think that's very sad, okay? And so a lot of the people who are on mailing lists of various kinds are older people. They're people in their 60s, 70s. I even have people in their 80s. doing this, okay? So I have a passion for helping those people because I think they are the forgotten, not only in America, but in network marketing. Most network marketers don't even try to approach older people. They say, well, they're all broke, they're too old, they're going to die in 5 years, all that kind of stuff. And I think they're wrong. People are living longer today. I've talked to some 80-year-olds who are just as sharp as any 25-year-old you'll ever meet. And they're excited because now they have a way to do something. You mean all I have to do is mail these postcards and buy a product or something like that? That's all I have to do? I don't have to call people on the phone. People are scared to death to call anybody on the phone. Horrors. But that really appeals to a lot of these folks, and it gives them a way out. And to me, that's a great thing. That's what I'm all about. I like to make money, but I also like to know that I'm helping people who need help. Anyway, I probably talked too long, Joel, but that's sort of my story.
No, that's wonderful. I've actually got tons of questions, but I didn't want to stop you because you were kind of on a roll.
Well, go ahead, ask away.
Okay, so I guess I'll just go back to the start again. We might be reiterating some of the stuff you already talked about, but I again, like I said, I didn't really want to kind of cut you off there. The two-step system that you talked about. So you said you always kind of use a two-step system so that you could build your list and then obviously do your sales and stuff like that. You don't have to get into necessarily specifics, but can you just talk about why you do that specifically? Because I know we do basically the same thing in Postcard Networker, is use kind of a two-step system where we're bringing people in and then adding them to our list and then selling them. So or selling to them. So can you talk a little bit more about why that's so important to you and your business?
Sure. It's important because using two steps builds trust. I've seen many postcards, I get them all the time, where what they want to do is send you to a website where they tell you to whip out your credit card and buy something or join something. And people don't trust you in one step. They want to know who you are. Sometimes they want to talk to you on the phone. Sometimes people would scrawl on my cards, give me your phone number because I want to talk to you. And so what we do in two steps basically is we get them to return the postcard. Our postcards, well, in one case, they do let them go to a website where they can join for free the program. But in the other case, the only option is for them to return the card to us, and we go sign them up for free. But the point is, what I do then is I send them what I call a welcome kit. All right, and that gives them all the information about the company, the products, the pay plan, at least very briefly in about 3 or 4 pages. So I can send it in a first-class envelope. But the most important thing in that package is I give them my personal phone number. Okay, most of them never call me, but when somebody does call me, hey, that means they're really interested, and it also means they want to find out if they can trust me, so they can take the next step. And what is the next step? It's always go get on auto ship for this product for $40 or $50 a month, or usually no more than that. And they're more likely to take that step after they have spoken to me. Now, the downside of that, of course, is it would probably in some ways be better if they could speak to their enroller, not just to me, because the way our postcard system works is we provide postcards and leads to our downline for a price, not all that different from Postcard Networker. But the actual enroller, even though they get the information 99 times out of 100, they won't call the new person even though they've already joined, or they won't give the new person their phone number so the new person can call them. So guess who they call? They call me. And that's okay. I don't mind that, although like Joel, sometimes I get overwhelmed with the number of phone calls. But the whole point is people, even though they don't like to talk to other people on the phone, they want to feel like they can trust you. And when they've spoken to you, or better yet, when they've met you in person and looked you in your eyeballs, that's when they start to trust you. They don't trust you based on a postcard or a website or an email. Talking to somebody on the phone is how you have an insight into who they are. That's very important, and that's why we use a two-step system.
Yeah, and if I can throw in there as well, I think a lot of people have trouble and are scared of the phone, but if you offer a phone number or if you offer to speak with somebody, it's not necessarily just a sales pitch. With Postcard Networker, we specifically don't give phone numbers to people before they sign up. Similar to what you've always done over the last number of years as well with any of the different postcard systems that you've used and had, is that we don't necessarily want to talk to somebody immediately. We want to talk to them once they've taken some steps and made some progress in the system, and then they're a member. A lot of people tell me, well, I don't mind talking to my members. Well, that's all the people are in our business in Postcard Networker, right? They've at least set up a free membership. They have some questions, and it's not a sales pitch at that point. They're already making those steps to kind of get started. So one of the other big things that you talked about, Dick, was that you promote more than one company. Now, I want to be clear here because you said, sometimes I promote 2 or 3, but I don't promote 12. I'm not in 17,000 different things. But I want to make a differentiation, and maybe you can talk a little bit about this. You obviously build your list and build your downline and do your marketing first before you go start promoting company 1, 2, or 3. Am I correct in saying that? Is that the whole thing is built based on your prospecting first and your list building and your postcard mailing, and then you take those people that are coming into your Postcard Networker downline or that are coming in through your postcards through your system, and offering them company 1, 2, or 3. Am I accurate in saying that?
That is correct. And let me say this. Most people should not promote more than one company because they do not have the resources to do it. Okay? I do it because I do this full time. And if one company goes south, I want to have a backup plan. That's the only reason I do it. I don't do it because I want to be in 5 or 6 or a whole bunch of companies. I think that's not wise, but I do it for that reason. And so for beginners, I say, pick your best company, whatever that is, and stick with it. And of course, with Postcard Networker, you do have a backup plan because you're making money from the system itself. And if your company goes bad, you can just change the link in your back office, and shazam, you've got another option for people to follow who, if they were in your previous company that died, they can go to your link and say, oh, okay, let's go with this new company. But in general, you build a list first, and then you promote the opportunity. And that's another thing I like about Postcard Networker, is that I am building a what I would call a generic list. Let's suppose that the CEO I talked about, despite all of his heroic efforts, his company goes bankrupt. All right, and suppose he decides to go join, I don't know, my company or some other company and start over again. Well, guess what? He's got a bunch of followers, a list in his Postcard Networker group that he can immediately promote that new opportunity to. And that's the beauty of having a generic system. My systems weren't very generic because everybody was responding to a specific postcard geared toward that specific company. And that's another reason I liked Postcard Networker better, because I could promote the whole idea of mailing postcards and promoting a network marketing company in general, a generic system, rather than a specific system.
Yeah, and you know, that makes, obviously I created it, so I agree with that. But, you know, that to me is kind of why we created it that way, is because almost as a safety net, so that if your company that you're promoting or your business that you're trying to pitch to people, if there's ever a problem, and I know that we all think that our company is the best and it'll never go bankrupt and nobody will, you know, the product will last forever, but I mean, you and I have both experienced companies having issues or pay plans changing or personalities in the company changing, and to have that backup plan that, hey, all I have to do is keep mailing the postcards I'm mailing, but change one simple little link to be able to change my business is kind of it makes you feel safe. It makes you feel comfortable that you know that, you know, you can continue doing what you're doing, even if company that you're promoting today has issues 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. So one of the other things that I wanted to highlight, Dick, was that you said, and I'm quoting here, I've enrolled over 12,000 people just using postcards into various network marketing companies. And to me, that's incredible. Now, for somebody starting new, brand new, so here's the question. That sounds like just incredible. Like, I want that today. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I want to be like Dick. I want 12,000 people in my downline. Can you tell me what it takes to enroll 12,000 people? Like, what it takes in terms of consistency, in terms of mailing, in terms of just being able, you know, the time frame, that type of stuff. Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. Let's start with consistency and what you call surges. Okay. When I started my systems, I would start out mailing 400 or 500 postcards a week. Okay, so I just built up some members, but always I would go down to 100 cards a week. That's my standard, and that's what I would tell people. Mail 100 postcards a week, do it forever, be consistent, do it every week, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, mail 100 cards a week. And for those who say, well, I can't afford that, I go, fine, mail 50, mail 25, just be consistent. And the way you get to 12,000 is not through mailing 10,000, 100,000 postcards yourself. What happens is, as you bring new members in, and in my system, they don't get postcards unless they buy product, right? Not unlike Postcard Networker, where postcards is the product. But what happens when somebody agrees to buy product is they get some free postcards from me, okay, first time around. And I don't make that much money on the product purchase. But what really happened is I created a new mailer. Okay, and I tell my people all the time, your goal is not to mail more postcards. Your goal is to create more mailers, because what happens is what I call the mushroom effect, or if you're more mathematically inclined like me, it's a geometric progression, right, where people bring in people who bring in people who bring in people, and after a while, I mean, I got to the point where I was supplying all the postcards for my systems, and at one time I was actually shipping out I have a local printer. I was shipping out 30 to 40,000 postcards a week. Okay. And who was doing all the work? Not me. The people in my group were doing most of the work. I was getting the leverage, another important word, from all those other people. Okay, so the answer is, now how long did it take me? The first time, it took me a couple of years. The second time, since I already had a list, it took me about a year. And Postcard Networker, I've mostly, to be honest, been using Joel's leads, not mine. But I am mailing to my lead list. I won't say I've gotten to where I ultimately want to go in Postcard Networker, but I'm amazed at what I've accomplished in only 6 months. All right. But you need to think years, not weeks, not months. Any mailing system, and you know, this happened with Postcard Networking, any mailing system takes at least 3 months to even get started. You know, I mailed out, I don't know, 100 cards a week for a couple of months before I started seeing sign-ups. Okay, not any different from my own system. Postcard Networker is just, in that sense, is exactly like what I did. It takes time to get started, and then the momentum builds month after month after month. More people come in, more people buy postcards, more people either sign up for my network marketing opportunity, or they decide to promote their own, and then they go tell their downline about it or whatever. But you get that snowball effect. But the snowball takes, I would say, anywhere from 6 months to a year to get going at all. And after 3 or 4 years, you can't stop it. I mean, no matter what you do, you can't stop it. So that's the time frame that you need to think about. I worked at a job for 45 years, okay, and I didn't get a gold watch. I got a pink slip, all right? So 4 or 5 years to me sounds like nothing compared to the alternative.
Yeah, and so again, I just want to reiterate the one thing that you said, which, I mean, you're doing a great job, because I look at it, it's like you're talking about leverage, but it's like create more mailers. It's not about how many dollars did I make this week. And I think that's why so many people in both postcard marketing, in network marketing, it's kind of the same concept. Like, how many more mailers did I create? How much more leverage did I create? How many more people presenting my business or sharing my product that I create this week? And if you can focus on, you know, building the size of your network instead of the dollars this week that came in the door, the dollars will follow, right? And I think that's really important. So one of the other things that you had mentioned, which kind of was interesting, was that you're actually attracting, and I've seen this not only through yourself but through some other people, but you've actually attracted a CEO of a network marketing company. So somebody who runs their own network marketing company, it basically wants to use Postcard Networker for the whole company, to promote. Right. Can you tell me why? Like, why is it that network marketing companies and leaders and stuff like that are coming to Postcard Networker to use the system to be able to help their downline? What's so special about us?
I think, and I'll be honest with you, I mean, go out there and look at the network marketing companies that are out there on the internet. There are thousands of them. And you can probably count on 1 or 2 hands that the number of those companies that are even trying to use mail. Okay? Everybody got all excited about the internet And, you know, it was the Wild West back in the early 2000s. But then Google clamped down on us, and Facebook clamped down on us, and, you know, they don't like ads for business opportunities. You know all that as well as I do. And so that whole thing began to sour, okay? And so these network marketing companies, they may have great products, great pay plans, all of that, but what they're finding is people don't want to come in with a $1,500 package, and they don't want to spend $200 a month on a product. And in order to, even if that's your deal, in order to talk people into that, it pretty much requires face-to-face. Okay, you don't do that over the phone. You can't do it through mail. That's the other thing is a postcard system. One of my rules is that the product costs more than, I don't know, $100, or it's got to be less than $100, or you won't be able to do a decent conversion. All right, so what I'm seeing is these companies are becoming almost desperate. You see them going out of business every day. They're desperate to figure out a way to bring in new members. And not only that, but the FTC is cranking down on them every day with the new rules they have. They actually have fined some companies and that kind of stuff. And so these guys want to have some way they can build their companies that actually works. And, you know, the message I'm preaching all over the place on Facebook, my YouTube channel, and everywhere else is the way to do that is through direct mail. But most of these companies have no idea how to do direct mail, all right? They don't know how to get decent lead lists. They don't know how to run a postcard system. They don't want to do all the work involved that people like you and me have discovered is a lot of work. And so they're attracted to a system that does it for them, okay? And to me, that is the great attraction of Postcard Networker to any network marketing company that wants to build their company, okay? All you have to do is provide your products and your pay plan, introduce your members to this postcard system, because they don't want to hold meetings. They don't want to make cold calls. They don't want to go to the mall and try to recruit people. What they want to do is something simple. This is something simple that anybody can do, and the truth is there are not a lot of heavy hitters out there, okay? Kind of like the military, you know, everybody says we should have more special ops guys. Well, special ops guys are in the 99th percentile physically, mentally, psychologically of the population. There's only so many of them. There are only so many people in network marketing who are super duper, you know, what do you call heavy hitters. There are not enough of those to make money on. You have to make money on regular, ordinary people who are, you know, maybe not superstars, but who will buy product and who will promote the company in a relatively simple way. And what's the simplest way of all? Mail a postcard. It works.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, the funny thing is, too, sometimes when I'm talking to people, they ask, well, how long does it take? I saw this internet system that promised me overnight, and I could push a button, and it could run ads, instant results, and all that. And it's like, well, the unfortunate thing sometimes with those systems is you have success overnight, but it also crashes overnight. You know, and the one thing, and maybe we'll wrap up with this. You know, you've been mailing postcards now for years, right? And the one thing that I tell people is this: is that no matter what happens around us in our business or in our network marketing companies or whatever, I've been doing direct mail now successfully since probably about 2003, 2004, 2005. So at least 12 years of mailing, consistently mailing, being able to generate a full-time income through direct mail, generating leads and income. So I guess your advice to the newbie, the beginner, somebody who maybe has never really made a lot of money in network marketing, who wants it so bad, what's your advice to them in terms of postcard mailing and postcard marketing and network marketing? What do you tell them in terms of setting themselves up, and what do they do to really make it to go full time?
Okay, well, let me make one other comment before I go into that. People have been using direct mail to sell things for over 100 years. Okay, it's not just that just happened in the last 10 years, 100 years. The internet has really been around for just barely 20 or so, 25, okay. And so everybody thought the internet was magic, and it has created a lot of magic, a lot of e-commerce, a lot of those things. Look at Amazon and all that. But direct mail still works. It's old technology, if you will. But if you combine it with the internet and use both in a complementary way, that's better than just trying to push magic buttons online. Now, what my advice to new people is find a system, first of all, because what Postcard Networker is a system. If you don't have a system, you're not going to make money in network marketing, or for that matter, in any kind of business. You've got to have a system, the things that you do over and over again that work over and over again. All right? That's the great thing about postcards, is it's something you can do over and over again, and it keeps producing results. So my advice is, A, find a system. B, if you want to do network marketing, and that's the cheapest and easiest business for the ordinary person to start, go look at what a fast food franchise costs. Find a company, as Joel advises, where you actually like the product, all right, and are willing to use the product even if you couldn't make any money from it, all right, and use the system to promote that company. Start at whatever level you can afford. I tell people, figure out what your weekly advertising budget can be. If it's $50, figure out what it costs you to mail one postcard. Divide that number into 50. That's how many postcards you should be mailing a week. It shouldn't take bread off your table. It shouldn't deplete your life savings. It should be money that you can afford to set aside out of your personal budget to advertise your business. And just do that. And guess what? When your business starts to make money, add that to your advertising budget. And keep doing that until you're making so much money that you just can't do any more advertising. Then you can keep some of it for yourself. You can use it for all the things that you want to use, that you wanted to make money for in the first place. But understand that that process is probably going to take at least a year or two, maybe longer. If you go look at the guys in network marketing who are making $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 a month, most of them have been in their company and in the industry for at least 10 years, if not 20, okay? This is not buy a lottery ticket, okay? It is a process that takes a while to get going, but once it gets going, it produces crazy amounts of money, okay? You got to be patient. What is it you say? You have to have the patience to prosper. Good comment.
Yeah, I'll have to give that quote to one of our members, Ja. That's definitely his. But anyway, I do appreciate you coming, Dr. Dick. So excited to have you here. I think you've shared just an incredible story about some of the success that you've had and ideas. And I'll tell you what, I'm taking away just the big idea: create more mailers. Just keep creating more and more mailers. So again, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, everyone, that was one of our top leaders, I guess, if you will, in Postcard Networker. He's got his own systems. He's using ours. He's, very, very successful over the years, Dr. Dick Pritchard. And if we follow his advice, you don't even have to follow my advice, okay? Follow his advice, which is somewhat similar to exactly what I say every week. But, hey, follow his advice and find the system, which, of course, we have as Postcard Networker. Find your company with a network marketing company with products you like, and use the system to promote it on a weekly basis. Every single week, mail out those postcards. And before you know it, you're going to start creating those mailers, okay, that you're looking for. And you never know when they're going to hit. You never, ever know when the good people are going to come into your business, but they will over time with consistency. So, again, thank you so much, Dick, for coming on the call today. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I wish you all the best. Have a great day, everyone. I wish you all the best. And, hey, we'll talk to you all very soon. Thanks a lot.